Yeah. Right. Welcome to Daily Neitz, daily look at classic films, modern cinema, and the world of professional wrestling. What? Raw just happened. Like, just finished. And what? Okay. There is two things to talk about with Raw tonight. The middle of the show, I don't even remember anything. It's just the first 20 minutes and the last half hour. That was Raw tonight, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Raw just being, two crazy segments or matches or what have you. Start at the beginning, might as well. Open the show, Steph and Shane announce their GMs. Mick Foley, the guy who got me into professional wrestling. I said it before, like, my favorite match is him and Taker Hell in a Cell at King of the Ring 98. His music hit, he walked out, I squealed like a small child, and he's the Raw GM. Freaking awesome, fantastic. And then the other guy, Dan O'Brien, the guy who got me back into watching it now, he's the SmackDown GM. Like, wow, we got 4 authority figures now, and 3 of them are good guys. 3 of them are face, and Steph is still a heel. But you've got that nice rivalry now between Daniel Bryan and Mick Foley. That segment they had together, where like we never met in the ring, but we got this. It's game on. Like, that was awesome, and it's gonna be really cool to see how these two personalities interact and fight. Not with their bodies anymore because they physically cannot, but with their minds and their strategies and their plans and their calls and that kind of thing. It's going to be really interesting to see. It's going to be interesting on Raw every week when Foley wants what's best for people and Steph might want what's best for her, or business as she likes to call herself. That's going to be a fun dichotomy. It'll be fun to see the shenanigans that Shane and Daniel get into with whoever they draft to SmackDown, which I imagine will be maybe some of the more goofier talent. It'll be a fun time, fun thing to see. Also, Steph announced the Cruiserweight division. Yay! It's kind of the writing was on the wall with the Cruiserweight Classic having just started and continuing in 2 nights, which is fantastic if you haven't seen the first episode, or even Bracketology was great. It's a different kind of wrestling. It doesn't feel like WWE, and it's awesome. So it's going to be real cool to see who they pick from those, whatever it is, 32 guys, I think? Who they pick from those 32 guys to move up to the main roster and join Raw and join that Cruiserweight division. That's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to that. Probably bring back the title, or maybe make the winner of the tournament hold the title, like make it a title instead of a cup, because I don't know if they've announced a prize or shown the actual prize. Make it the title, and they come up to the main roster in this Cruiserweight division. Great, cool, awesome, love it, fantastic. After that opening, bunch of matches that I don't remember much about, so I'm not going to talk about them, because the main event, Dean versus Seth for the world title. It's a match we've seen before. We've seen it with stipulations before as well, and we've seen it end funky as well. Last year Dean had that match. Was that Payback? Or was Payback the 4? Was that Payback or Extreme Rules? One of the matches right after Mania. Or pay-per-views after Mania, and he had that match with Seth. It wasn't even an Elimination Chamber maybe, where he won, but the ref was out and didn't count the 3, and shenanigans, so he stole the belt and ran off with it. And then they had an awesome ladder match at Extreme Rules last year that I really enjoyed, and fingertips away from winning the title. And he finally won the title using the Money in the Bank briefcase Dean did last month, and now he's at it again with Seth. And it's the 3rd time in the last year and a half they've had a title match. 4th time technically, but I'm not counting the Extreme Rules match, or not the Extreme Rules, the Money in the Bank match. So it's like the 3rd time they've had like a full legit planned match, and it was blinder. It was really solid. Started off a little bit slow, but really picked up once they got some stuff done on the outside, and then Dean kicked out of a pedigree. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Like, even Seth didn't kick out of the dirty deeds. He put a foot on the rope, so awesome. And then the finish, and all 4 shoulders are down, and the 3 count's called. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is how they're ending it. They can't turn the title over on Raw a week before, the Shield triple threat title match. They're not going to do that. They're going to have some wonky finish. I thought they were going to do, a double count out or a DQ or something like that. Somebody goes through a table or two, and the night goes off the air with both of them having beaten themselves nearly to death, and nobody wins. But no, they both win. And then there's shenanigans, and Steph grabs a microphone and says, Seth Rollins is your new WWE champion, and Seth holds up the title, and I'm waiting for Shane's voice to pop up on a microphone, or the ref to say something, or Lillian to step in, or Vince to come down, or literally anything, and then they went off the air. And that's it. And I love Seth Rollins. I think he's amazing. He's a wonderful in-ring performer. He's amazing on the microphone. His world title reign last year was fantastic. Slimy dirtbag heel, and now he's come back and he started beating guys without dirtbag slime tactics. He's beaten Cena, he's beaten Roman, and now hasn't quite beaten Dean, but he has the title, and I want to celebrate, but I'm still waiting for someone to come in and say, wait a minute. Well, it's not going to be Booker T, but I'm waiting for somebody to come in and overturn the decision or clarify things or make a final call. But no, the final call has been made, and it's Seth has won, and that feels really anticlimactic to me. And I feel kind of like out of balance. I feel like I'm going to feel out of balance for the next 21 hours until the draft tomorrow night, until the first SmackDown Live. And I don't like this feeling. I guess they sold me with this storyline because I want to know. I want clarification. But we don't know unless, something's going on the network right now and I'm missing it. So if there is, I apologize. If new information has dropped on like WWE.com or something, which I'm actually going to check right now while I'm talking because that's entirely possible that there's video going on live or something. But it looks like we're going to have to wait until tomorrow. Good way to get people to watch SmackDown, right? Which brings me to tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow I'm going to put up a video. I'm going to do a video about live SmackDown. I'm going to continue to, now that they're splitting the brands and SmackDown's going live, we're going to do that every week. Because it's going to be different storylines, and pay-per-views aren't going to make sense if I don't follow SmackDown every week. You get what I'm saying. But yeah, tomorrow night, first of all, I didn't like that Steph called SmackDown a B+ show in the opening promo. If you want people to watch, tomorrow is the first live one, and you want people to watch, you want it to go over well, and the first one will because of the draft. But don't call it a lesser program. Like, no one's going to watch if the higher-ups in the company don't think it's worth watching. Like, I get it storyline-wise, but if you don't think it's worth watching, then we don't think it's worth watching. I'm going to watch it anyway because I've been watching it every week anyway because I'm sadistic. But still, you got to put over your own program, right? Going beyond that, it did spill onto WWE Network according to the website. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, it just says tune into the network, so I'm going to have to do that later. Anyway, tomorrow night draft, what I think is going to happen, I might as well do a little bit of predictions because that's what everybody's doing. After the events that transpired tonight, I think it's plain to see. Raw gets the first pick, so Steph gets the first pick. She announced Seth as champion. She will pick Seth Rollins. That's the first pick. Shane didn't agree with Steph at the end of the match tonight, so he is going to counter and say, no, you think you're picking the champion, but I'm picking the real WWE champion. I'm picking Dean Ambrose for SmackDown first pick. And I think to solidify that, he thinks he's the champion. He's going to pull that big gold belt out of storage and hand it to Dean Ambrose and say, all right, well, if she wants to call Seth the WWE champion, I'm going to call you the World Heavyweight champion. Now, it might not make too much sense to do that right into Battleground, but if Seth retains his title, because that match at Battleground is for the WWE title, because the match was planned, contracts were signed before Big Gold Belt has been introduced into the picture. The match is just for that title. And it'll probably end with Seth pinning Roman. Because I think he's kind of lost his grace with the company after his suspension. I think they're starting to realize fans don't like him. Have him lose this match, have him rebuild his character, heel, come back. So he'll pin Roman so that he doesn't have any claim on Dean's title. And that way both brands have their world champions. Now, going back to when I said I don't like that she called SmackDown a B+ show, I don't want them to bring back a B+ title. And that's what has happened in the past. The WWE title has kind of held more weight than the Big Gold Belt, the World Heavyweight title, even though that World Heavyweight title has lineage, claimed lineage dating all the way back to like the 1910s, even though there was a good chunk of time when it didn't exist after like between the invasion and the first draft or something. Like the belt kind of disappeared for a while and then came back, and there still is an NWA title somewhere, but I digress. They can't have that world title mean less, especially the circumstances in which, this is all hypothetical still, the circumstances in which Dean will be handed it. If it means less, it's admitting that he lost that match. I want tonight's match to have gone down in history as a tie, spawning 2 equal belts. And I think a good way to do that, and this might get tough for the colorblind, is to introduce a new World Heavyweight title that it looks exactly the same as the current one, except that nice red streak under the W is a blue streak for SmackDown. I don't know how well that would work. It's just what I want to see, and I'm just a wrestling fan with opinions and a camera. But yeah, going on past that in the draft, might as well talk about the NXT 6. 6 guys or girls from NXT are making their arrivals tomorrow night. Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor, I assume, will make it. Bayley as well, I'm assuming, is going to be Sasha's tag team partner on Sunday, so she will make her introduction. I think American Alpha are coming up. They dropped their tag titles, and tag teams count as one. They dropped their titles. It's time for them to move up. There's not a tag team like them on the main roster right now, so they can do it. I think Joe is going to hang tight down south for a while, because he's going to have to carry that after Finn and Shinsuke and Bayley leave. Same with Asuka. That being said, need another diva up there. I think Alexa Bliss is about ready to go up. I was worried for a while. Not Nia Jax. She's going to stay down there. Ava Marie. I was worried about her for a while, but she's listed as main roster on the WWE's website, so we don't have to worry about her being one of the NXT 6. The 6th, I'm split between someone like Austin Aries, who's got a lot of TV experience already, or someone like Hideo Itami, who's pretty much ready to be called up before his injury, but he's been gone for a year. So I think one of those 2 guys will be the 6th, but that's completely uninformed opinions. The little insider information I've ever received has already been proven wrong. I was once told that Randy Orton's return would be on August, I think, 15th or 16th, and it is Sunday. So that information was incorrect. So what do I actually know? I think I've talked too much tonight already. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow to recap the draft and see how much of my predictions are wrong, which is probably going to be 90%, as they usually are. But until tomorrow, you can like, share, subscribe, leave your comments in the comments section below. You can also follow me on Twitter at Daily Neitz, and until tomorrow, bye. Yeah, I don't think they said anything about tuning to the network to see what happens at the end of Raw. I don't remember hearing anything, and it seems like a lot of people didn't know, but there was some stuff on. Ref actually looked at replay, declared the match a draw. Dean Ambrose is still champion. That being said, what I said before, my predictions, I think a little bit of tweaking. Steph brings out Big Goldie, hands it to Seth. Everything still kind of works out the same. But yeah, I figured I haven't posted yet, so I might as well update myself and catch my errors. So Dean Ambrose is still champion. I can sleep easy tonight. Take care, guys.